What's going on, guys? This is Qazi. Welcome back to another Quick Tip Tuesday episode. Today, I'm going to be showing you how to create the HDR effect using some simple tools inside Resolve. You could be using the paid version or free, doesn't matter. You could be using Resolve 16, 17, 18, doesn't matter. So get excited about that. And we recently did a survey. Majority of you, regardless of the skill set, are struggling with shot matching, skin tones, balancing, and working with 8-bit footage. So I created a 1-hour-long free training that covers all of that. Plus, we'll wrap up the training with an extensive Q&A, and you'll also get a link to download the practice footage, power grades, and some of my personal LUTs. So do not forget to check out the training. Link is going to be in the description. If you're enjoying the content, do me a favor, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel for more awesomeness, follow me on Instagram. Let's roll the intro. So now we're inside Resolve, and the objective is simple. We want to create an HDR effect. Obviously, it's super dark down here, and then it's bright up top, okay? So we want to basically create an HDR effect without making it look artificial. Now, since that is the agenda, I've already gone ahead and converted my image from lock to Rec. 709. I've also applied a little bit of base noise reduction. If you want to learn more about the noise reduction, search for specific noise reduction related tutorials on my channel. Also, watch the free training. Link is in the description, where I'm going to deep dive into what it is that I'm doing there. But as I mentioned, that's not the objective. The objective is to create the HDR effect. So we're going to start the stopwatch and let's get going. So what you want to do is go under your windows, click on the grad, which is the gradient window right here, flip it around and raise it up. I'm going to hit Shift H to see what we can capture on our screen. Basically, what are the areas that we're going to be affecting. And I'm going to keep it somewhere around here, like select half of the buildings, like as you can see there. And now we want to hit Shift H again. And you know what? Shift H, raise it up a little bit more, somewhere around here, and now come out of it. And at this point, what I want to do is grab my shadows and start raising them up, okay? So as soon as I raise up my shadows, something weird happens, like it's all blue and looking weird. So now I'm going to go under my printer lights. You guys already know how to use it, right? So I'm just going to hit my keys and it's going to make the changes here, and I'm going to commentate what I'm doing. So let's take out some of the blues. So subtract blue somewhere around here and now add red, okay? And as soon as I do that, you can see like how we're so close to like what's happening up top. We're basically, we leveled it out compared to what it was. If I do before, like look at all that blue, and now it just looks like, okay, this is how it should be. So this is before, this is after. Already we made a huge difference. I'm going to take my mid-tone detail, I'm going to crank it a little bit. That's another effect that just kind of gives it a HDR feel, okay? And then at this point, what we need to do is right click and go under add node and just do outside node. That is going to select Shift H, everything that is not selected here. Okay, so in this one, we can just basically do a simple change like contrast, and then grab the pivot and pull it down. And just by doing that, we create a really nice effect up top. And then at this point, we can just take our lift and raise it up a little bit. And I'm going to pause this because this is basically the gist of the HDR effect. So like, look at it, okay? Before and after. And then if I take these two, before and after, okay? Now in this node, obviously we can go in and add more color and do all those things. We can also take our mid-tone detail and crank it and see it kind of creates that like definition in the clouds, right? We can take our pivot more and bring it down a little bit, add more contrast to do something like that, right? And then we can raise our lift again just a little bit. And that's just like, look at it, right? Like the definition that we're adding, and the mid-tone detail is helping with that. Again, before and after. Now, one thing that you need to do, remember, we have our keyframes here. So this is what's going to happen, right? Like if I go before and after, you see like it's kind of dark and now it's bright. So it's dark here in this area and now it's bright. So to counter that, this is what you're going to do. I'm going to go here and I'm going to turn on color instead of like affecting everything. Okay. I'm going to hit Shift H again. And what I want to do is I'm looking for a movement. Where does the movement end? It ends somewhere around here. So I'm going to park right here and I'm going to create a dynamic keyframe. Dynamic means like it's going to not just jump from point A to B, it's going to interpolate in between. Okay. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to like, where does the movement start? Somewhere around here. And what I want to do is right click and add dynamic keyframe. And what I want to do here is I want to bring this up. Remember, we were getting part of the buildings, right? So if I go to my other keyframe, see like how we're getting pretty much majority of the buildings here. I want to do the same thing here. And now it's happening. So if I do Shift H and now we go from here to the end keyframe, there is no jump between like light to dark. It stays exactly the same. Okay. Obviously, I cheated a little bit. It wasn't really a 2-minute tutorial, but I had to add this additional step to really make sense of like how you would use it in a real world scenario. But the most of the meat was done under 2 minutes, which was this concept right here. So you create a gradient window, especially when you're working with something like that, you know, an exterior shot where there's a bright area and then there's a dark area. And then you will use Resolve's beautiful outside node tree functionality to kind of flip it instead of like creating multiple windows and then tracking them individually. And then we can do dynamic keyframing where everything is super smooth and it you know, computer interpolates like from point A to B. So again, we don't have to keyframe frame by frame. And then by simply just using our shadows, our midtone detail, and our offsets, we were able to create something very beautiful. Like once again, this is just a tiny bit exaggerated, right? Just to kind of drive the point home. But when you're working with this on your own, you can dial it back however you want. In an ideal world, in terms of the taste making is concerned, I would add a little bit of complementary scheme, because if I go in my scopes right now and if I go under vector scope, there is a little bit of complementary scheme going on. So I guess we're fine. But I would just take my blues and I will pull them down a little bit because that's just my style. But I think this also looks sort of natural, yet it has like a really stylized HDR effect. So guys, there you have it. What makes you lethal as a colorist is knowing when to use which tool, okay? That's what adds to the effectiveness as a colorist, and that pays big time, all right? You will always be fighting against time when you're color grading on a professional level. So knowing, okay, this is the time where I'm going to use my outside node. This is the time where I'm going to be using power windows compared to like say qualifiers or compared to HSL curves, whatever have you, custom curves. Hopefully this was extremely helpful and you guys will be applying these techniques in your future projects. And this is the rule that should go without saying, okay? Anytime you see something here, I would say just pause the video, open up your recent project or anything that's similar to the footage that I'm using here, and then start applying these techniques, because that's the only way you can learn what I'm putting out here. Otherwise, it's just a passive activity, right? Like it's like watching Netflix. Like you just watch a show and then you just move on. Maybe you remember 5 minutes out of the whole episode, 15 minutes, whatever, or all the key moments, but you don't really need remember how to put the two and two together. So anytime you watch something, when it comes to like learning stuff, learn and apply. Watch something, apply it right away. And guys, do me a favor, check out the free training. There's so many of you that leave a comment usually asking me about, Qazi, why did you use your grain, upstream, or why are you using your CST downstream? And you have all these questions. All of that is answered in the free training and then some. You also get tons of downloadable content. So link is in the description. Check it out. It's absolutely free. And if you're enjoying the content, then also do me a favor. I would really appreciate it. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel for more awesomeness. Leave a comment below if you have a suggestion for future content, if there's anything specific you would like to see. And on that note, work hard, get obsessed, get possessed. I will see you guys in the next video.